Hi all, this is the long-awaited tutorial on how to make these little boxes. Really simple, and you can use them for a myriad of purposes with a little bit of tissue in as a nice little gift box. They are super the right size to put handmade cards in them, and you can personalise them, and they're just the right size. Sorry, I've got this funky thing where everything comes out backwards on the screen. And I'm afraid, as this is still being filmed on my trusty iPad, I've had to do a really funky bit of manoeuvring to get the iPad in the right angle to hopefully film this in a way that you can see what I'm doing. As you can see, you can personalise them and change the actual theme of the box by the decoration on the panel on the front. You can either stamp the panels up like I do, very simple stamping, or you could actually use pattern paper, whatever you prefer. Anyway, let's get cracking. So for this, what you need is 2 sheets of 12 by 12. You could probably do it with 1 sheet of 12 by 12 and some A4, but I just find it easier to use the 12 by 12. Now what I always do, or what I have done, is I have a template ready made up. Now this template is actually about 4 1/4 inches, that's 11 centimetres, by 5 1/2 inches, which is about 14 centimetres. And what I've done is I've written on it template so it doesn't get muddled up in my cupboard, and I've got the measurements that you need to actually make this box. And the two measurements on one side are 3 inches and 9 inches, and you turn the whole paper around and it's 4 1/2 and 7 1/2. And because I'm the most forgetful person in the world, I just keep that in my cupboard, and it's dead easy to pick it up, and you've got the measurements there. And also you probably noticed a couple of little holes. I've pre-measured on this one where the holes are, so it's really easy to put the holes on when you come to put the handles on. Right, crack on. So I've got my cutter, and for this particular thing I'm just going to use the scoring tool on it. So I measure it up to 3 inches and then score, and then down to the 9 inches, just following my trusty template. 9 inches, and again score, and turn the paper. And this time I'm going to score at 4 1/2 inches and 7 1/2 inches. There you go. That's your basic box part actually done. Just probably can't see those scores anyway. It will all become clearer in just a second. Right, I'm just going to cut the handles. Now, I don't actually measure this bit. I just measure it to the top edge of my cutter. I really don't measure a lot. Unless I'm absolutely forced. When I'm actually card making, I do everything by eye and what looks good, and I'm definitely not one of these complete measuring gals. Right, now for the trim, I've just got a sheet of A4 white, and again I'm not measuring, I just make it a little bit smaller than, for the handle part, a little bit smaller than the main one. Let me cut them and then I'll show you. That one and that one. Here we go, look. So it just gives you that little bit showing. Okay. And then, as luck would have it, the bit of paper that's left is just about the right size for the template. So that's tadger out. I'm not worried about that. So all I'll do is I'll measure, hang on a minute, going the wrong side here. I just measure again, more or less by eye, and again, just so that I've got the same for the panel on the other side. There we go. So 2 panels, 2 handles, and the box ready scored. Now, for the purposes of this vid, so that we're not sitting here for ages, I have pre-printed my side panels and my handles. It's just really, really simple stamping in 2 colours. And that's the handle. All right, so get rid of the cutter now. So I've got my bone folder, and it's quite hard to see these scores, but I'm just going to fold along them with my bone folder, just get a nice crisp edge. And the bit that I'm going to do next is the fiddliest bit in the whole video. Right, so I've got the major folds done. You can see the size it's going to be. This is the worst bit. See this corner here? You've got to get one edge to the other. So I just poke the bone folder up the corner, go edge to edge, and then score on the inside. I know you can't see it. There you go. Got that score on the inside. All right, so it's going to make one of the corners. And the same again here, look. Nice crisp edge. Bring it down edge to edge, and then tuck in with your bone folder. You see? Okay. And on the other 2 as well. This really is the fiddliest bit of all. The rest of the box itself is a piece of cake. Total piece of cake. And once you've done a couple of these, it's like, yeah, that's just so easy. Right, you need to fold these out the other way. So just tidy them up when you get them the other way. Obviously, if you prefer to fold them the other way, you carry on. This is just the way that I've always done it. Right, so there you go. That's going to be our box with all the edges. Okay, see if I can just get this up a little. There we go. There. Hopefully my birthday is coming up. You never know, I might get a decent camera and tripod. I can always hope. Right, now I like to use this red tape, which is like the super duper sticky stuff. It will glue anything to anything. You can use ordinary sticky tacky glue, and that's absolutely fine. It just takes a little bit longer to dry, and you have to sit there and hold it. So I am going to be sticking this edge down, bearing in mind I'm doing this for the vid, so it's not going to be quite as clear and clean as it would be if I was doing it on my own for real. Just take that edge off there. Right, sticky, 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 sticky. So pull that off. Where's my pokey tool? One. I suppose I could use glue dots for this. I've never done that. It's always been either sticky, tacky glue or this tape. There you go. It's an instant stick. So you need to do the other side as well. Right in here movement, that's probably my son in the next room coming down to see if his food is cooked. So I'm sorry if you can hear banging in the background. Let's take those edges off and stick that one down. So you can see where we're going. So next it's those 2 edges, and I am Getting bits of tape everywhere. Right, this one, the one on the inside, right, make sure you only put glue on the bottom part because otherwise it will show. Da, da, da. Da, da, da. I want to have some background music, really. Do you remember Vision On when we were kids? You know, and now the gallery. Do 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 do. Dee dee dee. Dee 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 dee. Da da dum da dum. Yeah, I know it's really bad, isn't it? Dee dee dee. Bet you can remember it too. Well, all my friends in the UK, obviously. I don't know about my friends in America. I'm sure you didn't have Tony Hart and Vision On. Isn't it funny how songs and music and background music catches in your brain? Adverts. I was always a great one for remembering adverts on the telly. But you hear an advert now from way back when, and you'll remember it too. Right, so it's one side down, one to go. This one you can do all the way up because obviously it's not going to show. Right, my little reel of tape has just run out. So I guess I will be using tacky glue on the other side. And of course, I've done that completely on purpose, just to show you how it works. I'm just looking down for my tacky glue and hoping that I'm not going to have to shake 10 bales of hell out of the bottle to get the glue out. Right, so I'm sticking that side down. See, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let's lean down and get the tacky glue out. And see if we've got any in here. Yes, indeedy. Woohoo! So, here we go. This time I am gluing with the tacky glue. So let's try and get an angle where you can actually see what I'm doing, which is good. That one there, that one. And you will see in a minute why I like using that tape, because you just have to sit here and hold it down now. I don't know, this tacky glue is probably a little elderly. Perhaps when it's a bit fresher it sticks a bit easier. I don't know. Right, that's not too bad. Now, because I'm a fuss pot, I always like to have the ends both matching, so I need to put this one on the inside. So, let's get that one stuck down. Hold that down for a couple of secs. Dumpty 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 dum. And then, yeah, that is actually sticking up. That's a little bit. Right, and then finally, the last one. I'm not a great lover of wet glue in anything I do. I much prefer double-sided or glue dots or tape rollers, because I just find it cleaner and quicker and easier to use. But, you know, it's all personal choice, really. You know, whatever floats your boat. Now, there you go. So that is the basic box. Now, as you can see, there is a little bit of a difference that side. I usually find that happens when your 12 by 12 isn't quite 12 by 12, or I've got my line slightly out. It's no big issue, really. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think most people would even notice. I'm just going to pull this bit of paper off here because I used to get glue on it. Right, let's get rid of that. Okay, so next bit, handles. As you can see with my pre-prepared handles. Have I got a tape runner anywhere? She says, looking round. As you can see, well, no, you can't see because I've angled you, but my cupboard is absolutely stuffed with all sorts of everything, which is lovely. But sometimes when I've been untidy and I haven't checked where everything is, it doesn't make for a good video. I'm going to use the wet glue again. All right. So I'm just going to run a little bit of glue down this. So let's have a little bit of a, I'll use a little bit of paper again because I don't want an excess. I really do not want an excess because I don't want it blurbing out everywhere. Blurbing. There's a technical term. Right, and then just pop it on by eye. There we go. You can see my ends are a little bit longer here. It's because I use 12 by 12 and an A4. So just trim the edges off. All right. And I find with these handles, if you give it a little bit of a smooth out, that also helps the shape of it, because sometimes when you put the glue on, it just doesn't want to sit straight. So there we go. That's number one handle. Let's do the same with the other one. Here we go. I really do hope this tutorial works with the angle of my camera. Well, iPad. Honestly, if you could only see from the other side of the screen the way I've got this iPad jammed into position in my desk. I've got one of these, what's it, the original scrapbook company. I've got one of their cupboards, and it is absolutely the best thing I have ever had. And I've got the drawers pulled out and my iPad jammed into place, held up by my iPhone. So I can't really see much of the screen. There we go, and I'm just going to trim that edge off again. Right, now, quite often when I'm doing these, I will actually put a little flower over this edge here. But the thing I noticed in one of my boxes that I did was I used this little corner punch, and it just rounds the edges off, and it makes it look quite neat without the worry of putting anything extra on. So, for the sake of doing all four corners, I thought that was a cheap and easy way of tidying it up a little bit. This one I used to do some scrapbooking just around corners of pictures, and I have to say, let's just neaten that one up. I have to say, I haven't used it an awful lot, but it has been quite useful when I need to do things like this. Apart from when it gets things stuck in it. There we go. And again. Blades are a bit blunt. This is definitely not one of those very highly professional videos that some of the companies produce. This is just me in my cupboard, just trying to share what I love doing. So that one is refusing to cut properly, so we'll just trim him off with my scissors, and that little bit there. So, hello, there we go. So, there we are. Now, put the pair of them together, and using the dear old pokey tool, please try not to stab yourself, because it really hurts. There we go. That's one little hole. And the other side. Again, you see I do everything by eye. There we are. Right, and finally, as you can see, the pre-printed panels fit perfectly. So all we need to do is a bit of glue on these. And again, you don't need to go too mad with the glue. I would much rather at this point be using a tape runner or double-sided. Anything rather than wet glue. But beggars cannot be choosers. So we will make the most of what we've got at the moment. Right, here we go. Again, by eye. That'll be about there. And then the other side. So far we're about 19.5 minutes, so that's not bad going. There we are. Let's just spread the glue and pop it on. There we go. Now, handles. I have seen these where somebody's just put one handle over that way. Hang on, like that. But I prefer to do the handles this side. And going back to my faithful, see all these bits of tape everywhere, my faithful template, I don't have to look for where the handles should be because I've already got the holes pre-marked. There you go. And again, 1, 2, and in readiness I have my little brads, so pop them in, pop them in. There's a lot of waving of boxes around here. There you go. And the other side, little brad. Do you remember in the olden days when we used to call those paper fasteners? I wonder why they get called brads now. Right, so that's one handle on. Now for the second handle. And finally, brad, and there we go. There it is through the back there, and another box completely finished. Easy peasy, really simple, really cheap, and it looks pretty effective. Anyway, I hope you could see that video, and I hope you've enjoyed that. As I said, it's a bit of a comedy of errors when I'm running out of tape and having to scrabble around to find anything. Hey, but that's just me. All right, take care and have a good night.